Alright, welcome to episode 24 of History Rewritten. Last time we saw a huge war occur down here in India. So we had the Brown Country, which owned a lot of this area around here, completely fall apart, and the Indian Empire is really starting to just become extremely powerful. They own they own and control a lot of Southeast Asia now. And at the time of this episode starting, they've made a colony in Borneo now, so they're really spidering out absolutely everywhere. They also continue to increase their Sumatran colony, as well as their Malaysian one. So, yeah, they have an awful lot of influence, and we're going to see that influence expand in today's episode, because I can't really do a really long one, because I don't have loads of time. So, I've got a few things I want to do today, but it might be slightly shorter than the average video. Is that a good thing? Is it a bad thing? I don't know. Tell me. Oh, damn it. So yeah, we're going to get to that Indian influence in a second. Right about now. Boom. Yeah, as you can see, a large amount of colonies. However, with India, they've been kind of having a sort of competition between these two Chinese countries over which one's going to be a better ally. We have both these ones, they have lots of trade going through with India, and although the southern one started this sort of trade with India, because they help work out, you can go through the Strait of Malacca. This northern one, it's got an awful lot better rate of economic growth, and that sort of stuff, because it's got the trade route, and it's got stuff from all around the other parts of the world, not just China, because the trade routes themselves don't really run into southern China. They go to about here. They go to the capital, and that's as far as they go, and it's just along the coast. So, it does kind of get into there, but not as much as in the Brown team, or the North Chinese one, especially since you can get all the stuff from South China pretty much from North China. So there's really not that much point going to South China, which means that their economy is stagnating quite significantly now. And, India's kind of like, I think North China's better. Anyway, you brood on that, because the Japanese have made another assault on the dark blue country, and this time the olive country, this one, won't be coming in to intervene, and this means that the Japanese can take the split Japan and this island over here, leaving the dark blue country only on their capital island. So yeah, Japan is attempting to be reunified. But yeah, let's get round to our big war for today, which is this one. So the Indians and the North Chinese will be declaring war on South China. The Indians will begin their invasion by going for the island of Hainan, which is that island over there. Mainly because it's going to be really easy to defend once they take it, and also their military is a lot better. And then they can start assaulting from all these different areas, and it doesn't mean they have to go from Vietnam to go do it. So, it makes it a lot easier. And it's not too hard to capture Hainan. I mean, it is, but they don't have too many difficulties with it. And that might be because the North Chinese are assaulting the northern regions of this country, and they've already taken 2 major cities. I might update the major city map, just because I feel like these countries probably have slightly more money than I'm giving them, or slightly more major cities than I'm giving to them. So it's got one in Taiwan, another one in Taiwan. I know they got Taiwan yesterday. However, I don't care. And these guys definitely have loads. If you imagine the trade route, might be a sort of line there. There's probably another line that curls around this area. So let's also give them one on this coast. Anyway, yeah, we were assaulting South China. Let's get back to doing that. So South China will have 2 of its major cities taken by the North Chinese country. So this northern one right by the border, and this slightly more southern one by the border. However, it is still a northern city. So it's not looking good for South China. These 2 fronts connect up pretty easily, and it's not looking good if you're supporting the South Chinese. They don't really bother with this region because it's with this region because there's an awful lot less there than there is here in terms of population and stuff. So we're going to concentrate on this area, which is pretty hard to push through, unfortunately. So they are just taking a bit of land as leverage because they don't know entirely what the South Chinese country's got waiting in store for these ones. They could have like loads of troops and stuff. Anyway, the Indians made a landing out here between these two major cities, and from there they're going to spiral out west and east, so leading towards two pretty huge major cities. They take this southern area, and then manage to encircle it, and then take this major city. So yeah, front lines in the south. Then they're going to climb around here, and separate these two regions, so this region is now separated from the rest of the country, which means it isn't too hard to take these two regions down. And yeah. Next up, India is going to try and solidify their control over this area. So they go around, take this major city, go over here. However, something possibly, something bad for South China is that rebellions in this interior region are appearing. So you see this huge area over here make its breakaway against the Chinese state. So they help the North Chinese country by separating this, and more rebellions are going to appear along these rural areas, and also a bit within the cities, however those are brutally suppressed, so that's good. For South China at least. Anyway, all these front lines have now met up around the country, so they're slowly closing in, however, it's going to be tricky. They managed to capture this pretty large chunk, and then they move down towards the capital, but it is very well defended because there's an extremely large population of people there, and they're kind of just using those people as forced militia. They're going, you defend the country or else. So they supply them, well actually they probably give the troops the muskets, not the people. I wouldn't give the untrained people muskets. Especially if there's a lot of rebellious people around, which there are. Anyway, more rebel groups appear within the country, and unfortunately for India, one rebel group will actually be appearing down in Vietnam. They don't really care, they're more worried about taking down China, so they do this. But this is kind of trying to preserve the Chinese country in the south down here. But they do not care. Another country will join this war other than countless rebellions in North China and India, and this one is the Lilac Japanese country. So they kind of understood that this might be quite a good thing to do. And it just turns out, very luckily, they assaulted the Dark Blue country before this all started. It's almost as if I wanted this to happen. They go for Taiwan, and after a few intense naval battles, and them taking these islands that nobody knew existed. Yep, Japanese have these now. They all manage to make a landing in Taiwan. This northern bit, take the major city, which is the capital over here. It's the northern one. And then they take the rest of the country. From here, Japanese bombardments along the coast will allow further growth within, taking cities. And finally, it's just the capital, the county which the capital's in, is left. So we have all of this breakaway, all this gets captured, and finally it's just the capital, and then boom, we managed to capture that. This area down here is given the allowance to continue as South China because it's now Vietnam. And they kind of need people to explore this area because they don't really know what's down here. And the Indians kind of like, well, if these guys become a problem, we can just easily destroy them like we did with the rest of their country. So, yeah. Anyway, we need to look at this peace treaty. It's going to be a pretty huge peace treaty. I can tell you a few things for sure. India's getting a new colony today. Because yeah, this wasn't just about, which one's better, like proving the superiority in that way. No, India wanted another colony in China, so then they could trade with North China and the rest of East Asia, and people who come down the Silk Road. Japan will be annexing the island of Taiwan, and of course last time China took Taiwan. I mean, if in the modern day China tries to take Taiwan, we're all pretty screwed, I would say. So let's hope that doesn't happen now. Anyway, what did I do? I see. Right. So North China is also going to be annexing some stuff. They want this land. Also, it seemed like it was just a war about not liking the other side. That is not true. So, all this stuff is admitted into the country, and they take this area down here. Of course, around in these sort of rural provinces, new countries will be appearing over here. I just need to draw out this stuff. So, country number 1, we have this one. It's pretty just random shape. Out here in the rural areas, eventually, it might make some money. However, at the moment, it really looks like that's not going to happen for these guys, because they're out in rural China. There's no one to the west of you. I mean, if you travelled west from here, would you? This country or this bit of the Lime Team. So, yeah, you can't escape the Lime Team. That's the lesson here, kids. I think that's all North China will take, whilst the Indians will be making a colony down here in the south by Hainan. And it's not really a massive colony, because, you know, they're only just starting this. Well, no. They've only just started this colonial initiative, like about a century ago. So maybe they've been doing it for a while. However, they're not entirely up to having loads and loads of colonies. Of course, the Red Team has a lot of land. In fact, I think actually India might have more. But the Red Team couldn't support having the entirety of the Balkans and North Africa and all this stuff. So the Lime Team just needs to be careful how quickly they apprehend all this territory. I don't know why apprehend is the word that came to my mind first. And add it to their country, because it could be potentially really harmful for the state. So, yeah, Indian colony is going to look something like this. Yeah. Pax India. I don't know why I keep saying that. I read Pax Mongolia in a book, and I was like, oh, Pax everything now. I might have even said that in the last episode. I think I'm just going insane. Insanity is not fun. Don't make jokes about it. That was dark. Anyway, we have another new country being created around here. And yeah, we're going to divide up China even further in the coming seconds of this video. I don't know what I was trying to get up there. How do we want to divide it though? I think we're going to need a southern state in this bit. But do I want to give them both the coastline? And that's the question. I kind of think, I feel yes. Let's give most of these Chinese countries a coastline. Not you though. Not you, my friend. Nope. So, yeah. There you go. This is pretty dramatic changes to East Asia. I mean, Japan's now kind of starting an empire. They've already got Taiwan, which means that Korea and Manchuria are next. Oh no. I don't know. Yeah, North China, they're looking pretty cool. And huge. So they might collapse sometime in the future. We'll just have to wait and see. 35. Boom. Orange Coast country. Boom. Lime Team colony. Boom. What other color do we have to do? Boom. And one final one. What do we want to do for this one? I don't know. Let's do some. We've already had a lot of shades of red around here. What do we do? Purple might work. Sure. This is incredible stuff for you to watch me. And boom. There we go. So let's draw out the capitals quickly. Obviously their capital will be in the old capital, because that's going to be the richest city in all of South China. These guys will put their capital in this northern bit. The Lime Team capital, just this area, probably going to be this city right about here. New South China, now in northern Vietnam, or possibly South China still, have their capital down here in the only major city. This orange one will have theirs by the coast, and the dark bluish grey one will have theirs in the central area of their country. So, yeah. They're getting pretty close to discovering the Philippines as well. That's an important fact. They haven't got to the Philippines. They don't know it exists. Or the collection of islands. How are they getting there? New South China, or Vietnam, which I suppose is South China, will be expanding slightly down the Indochina coast. Making the Indochina now. Great. So we've got that. The United will also be expanding their own Vietnamese colony, which might also be in Cambodia. So, their Indo-Chinese colony as well, because that's just an easy way to sum up this area. The Indians will also take these islands along the Sumatran coast, and probably the other ones to the south. However, I'm trying to find one of our most recent colours, because they're doing some stuff. Dark purple to 35. Okay. And of course, the dark purple country in this area, it's this Myanmar's one around here, and they're going to be doing some expansion down into this peninsula. They've got to be careful when they're doing this though, because if they go too far, India will get them and take their land forcibly away from them. So they're trying to do it a moderate amount. I mean, this is pretty unmoderate. However, who cares? They need the land. And a new idea or initiative will be set up between these two countries. So China and the Indian area will realize, we can connect by sea, but we can also connect by land. So these two countries are going to try and branch out and reach each other. They don't get that far because it's jungle, and they don't want to cross the jungle because it's jungle. That's pretty clear to me. It's jungle. I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, jungle. Let's go settle a load of people there. Settled. Yeah, I don't want to live in the jungle. Sorry, mate. Blue to 100. Is this right? No, it is not right. That's right. Anyway, so this is a project they might work on in the future, and if they manage to connect these countries, of course it doesn't mean there's going to be a load of trade. However, it might economically improve the situations of these countries around in East Asia, because then you can make a giant circle. I mean, think about it. There's a trade route that goes basically around here, through this area, kind of branches up here, and then goes across East Asia. If they managed to do and bring it across this area, a giant circle around Asia, and that would be very economically powerful for these countries. Of course, the trade route does not look like this. It does not go and then along. I don't know what that was. And it obviously does not go into the ocean either, because that would be a bit rude if you guided a load of people into the ocean. Anyway, for the second part of this video, I suppose, more colonialism. I realized I probably need to speed up the rate at which these countries are colonizing, so I'm going to do that. So, oh no, I need to get to Grenada. I need to learn the Granadan country's name. 73. Say it with me, guys. Say it with me. 73, 166, and 45. Not 345, 45. There we go. So they have managed to explore the entirety of Cuba. This is a pretty large jump. And they've managed to colonize the entire island. You can grow a lot of stuff in Cuba, like sugar and tobacco. I think Cuba's largest export is tobacco. That's not good. Don't have tobacco as your largest export. It really doesn't look good for your country. Why don't you just stop smoking? Incidentally, even though I said the Norwegians wouldn't come down here ever again, they have. And this time they've taken this island. Great. And that's about it. I've decided I'm going to run with that idea that I came up with. However, I can't use as big lines down here, because obviously that's not going to work. So I'm just going to use these lines. And there you go. Right. Norwegian colony in the Lesser Antilles. It looks quite cool, I think. I quite like that. Anyway, Britain will also be doing some expansion. That's right, Brett. Oh, no. So, quite a large colony. However, they do need to make sure it doesn't become too large, because they might just lose it. Somebody else might take it. All these people might claim independence in like the late 1500s. That'd be funny if Florida just got independence and took the Bahamas with it. Anyway, we also have a few more countries around here, including the Terracotta Nation, who will be expanding towards Florida. You're going to go for independence to Terracotta and everything. So, they've got a reasonably large colony down here in the south of the USA. United States of America. That's my American accent. Sorry, James. I don't even... That's annoying. Boom. Cool. The pink country, against all better judgment, will be expanding further into the Mexican desert. Desert of Chihuahua. Filled with chihuahuas. Probably not. Anyway, I think they're expanding more than the Terracotta Nation was. The Terracotta Nation is going to combat this by meeting up with the Pink Nation, which is incidentally absolutely wonderful for the Pink Nation, because this means they can trade a lot easier. The rate at which they can trade will be enhanced. So, and the capability for that sort of trade. Boom. Yep, they're in all of America. France. Oh my god. England will be doing some expansion as well. I still don't know what Spinnaker is called. I bet next episode I still won't know what Spinnaker is called. This bit. So, let's see. Will I know what it's called next time? They expand a pretty large amount along the coast around here. And they also take that random island, which I think is like Long Island or something, isn't it? Did they... That's Long Island. That's a Long Island. It's Rhode Island, I'm going to be annoyed. Alright, there you go. And the Irish will finally increase the size of their landing out here in America. The Scottish are not doing anything in Canada, however. Nobody knows why. The Scottish have mysteriously gone AFK. They are away from the keyboard. They're not doing anything. Just thinking. Brooding. No, they're not doing anything in Canada. However, they're doing some stuff out here in America, because the Norwegians are pretty pro-expansionist in Greenland. And, you know, Scotland needs to grab up some of the stuff before the Greenlanders can take all of it. Because that is a plan for Greenland. They want all of... No, the plan for Norway. Norway wants all of Greenland. Because Greenland's such a wonderful place to live. I'm just imagining all the poor random people they send to settle Greenland. I mean, like, modern day Norwegian punishments are like, oh, house arrest. And then if like that stuff about them going to really nice houses after house arrest. That sort of stuff. If you do something bad in Norway and this time you get sent to Greenland. So yeah, alright, follow your punishment. You will go and be one of the settlers of Greenland. I mean, going and living in Australia doesn't sound that bad anymore. It really doesn't. I mean, there are other places you can go other than Australia, which I find funny. And Jamaica was one of them. Just imagine you did some terrible crime, and they're like, I sentenced you to living the rest of your life on the tropical island of Jamaica. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'll take it. Like, what the heck? Anyway, might cut this video a bit short. However, there's a lot of people wondering stuff. They don't know much about America. They probably know the entire eastern seaboard, and that's about it. Like, this bit. I don't even know if they've discovered Jamaica yet. Anyway, people are wondering, out here in Europe, and also Asia, is there more to this than just a long coastline? Long Island. And the answer is no. Obviously not. You just got ice block and long coast. Now, for the South America, you know, you've got all this western side of America, and it's got a few countries wondering. So recently the Purple Country took these islands, and they're going to be doing some more sailing around just out and about in this area. And who knows, maybe sometime they might make a landing in Brazil. South America is coming up soon. And also, it's the Colonies country. Yeah, I didn't forget about those guys, because they be doing some stuff. They've been expanding their Kamchatka colony quite a lot recently, and that expansion's not going to stop, because you don't want it to stop. It'll keep going. And discovering more and more of Kamchatka, because it's so plentiful in nice places to live. I don't say resources, but actually it probably is plentiful in resources. Like oil. Like they pretty much own the Sea of Okhotsk. If they keep that. Ooh. Also if the red team keeps Saudi Arabia, it's gonna be a load of oil. Anyway, that might be where I ended off for today's video. Is about as short as our first video, which is kind of sad. This is a new low. It's not really a low though, because I think the video was quite cool. Short and snappy. China, America, Southeast Asia. That was about it. You know, I did make a vow to myself. Not that I do a major cities update, however, I feel like I'm doing that at the moment. Just briefly, just a small major cities update. Just a small one. For America. There we go. France is one new city. And there's also just a small one in Southeast Asia. Just a little one. Borneo. That's about it. They're going to make a new city over here. Just in case they manage to connect up that stuff. And so will these guys. And these guys. And these guys. Also Korea. Like, I just completely forgot about the fact that Korea is meant to be like the strongest country in East Asia. Other than India. And like, nope. There are no economic regions in your country. Also, Japan's economy has probably risen by an awful lot recently. So I'm going to give them that. And that's about it. Thank you very much for watching. The vow I made to myself, which I completely forgot about mentioning, was that at the end of every video I would go out and go outside. No, I went outside today. I'd go out and then you can look at the entire map and I could take a screenshot of it and look at how it's changed. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. This is a very late upload. This is like 10 o'clock at which I'm finishing this. Oh well, who cares. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe, like, that's all around. Comment. Thank you. Goodbye. Have a nice rest of your day. It'll take about 10 minutes.